Alright, what's up? I'm Ayan, and in this video we will be talking about Microsoft's Powertoys, which are the Powertoys for power users of Windows. So Microsoft Powertoys are a utility that have lots of very cool features that are not available on Windows. So these add some features on your existing Windows 11 or Windows 10, depends on whichever one you're using. Make sure you have a x64 or ARM64 processor because 32-bit versions are not supported. So this will download everything that you need. So the recommended way of downloading is via the GitHub, which will I be using right now. Simply I will provide this link in the description, so you can just simply go to the releases page and download the latest version that is available. The tag with the latest version right here. As you can see, now I'm just gonna scroll down. Here you can see you only need to download one of these two, depends on your processor. If you are having a ARM 64-bit operating system, download the ARM 64 one. If you have an x64 architecture, download the x64. I have an x64 CPU, so I'm downloading the x64 version of Microsoft Powertoys, and today we will be exploring it, and I am actually installing this on my laptop. I actually have a previous version, but I deleted that so I can download the latest version, and this version adds lots of very cool features. Let's see what features do we have. First, the recommended way of downloading is through the GitHub repository. If you want to use the Microsoft Store, you can download it from the Microsoft Store because this utility is provided by Microsoft itself, so which means this is the official tool. This is no third-party tool. So the newest feature that we have is the command palette, and I think this is like the macOS Spotlight but on steroids. This is the way better version than Microsoft's own research or search, which you can see right along the Windows logo, start menu, whatever you want to call it. And this is activated by Windows Alt space, but I am going to change it to Alt and space so I don't have to press 3 keys. There are other tools as well, but we will be exploring them after we have installed the Microsoft Powertoys. I actually am tempted by the command palette option. I actually want that option because Windows Spotlight for Windows is very cool. So once you have downloaded the exe file, the executable file, simply click on it and wait for the installer to come up. Click agree on the license and hit install. Say yes to the prompt that will ask you if you want to install it with administrator access. Say yes and the installation will continue. Let's wait for the installation to complete and we can begin exploring Powertoys. We will see how many cool features does it have, and I will also tell you what features I will use personally. I will check all the features which I like, I will enable them, which I don't, I will disable them. This is how it is going to go. Okay, it is now processing my Powertoys MSI. Okay, looks like the installation is successfully completed, and now you can close the installer and check on your system tray. You will see Powertoys right there. If you single click on it, this will bring up the modules function. You can quick access all your modules that are running. I used Powertoys run, which is like the Spotlight of our Windows. You can type in some stuff right there, open up apps, calculate some mathematical equations like 2 plus 2, gives you maths questions as well. Basically it is Spotlight but for Windows. I was using that. Now if you double click on it, this will give you the settings page. You will see this is the dashboard where you can enable or disable all the modules provided by Powertoys, and I recommend you go to general and turn these settings on, and also make sure you check the run at startup and check for updates because updates are very necessary. After you have done that, these are everything that you need to do. Don't mess with anything else. Go to your dashboard and you will see all the options that are provided by Powertoys and you can use them. First module is the Find My Mouse, which means you have to double press on your control key and this will highlight your mouse. This is how you find your mouse if you have a large system and can't find your mouse anywhere. So the second option is Peek option. I'm sure. Yep, this one. You can use Peek by Control plus space, and this will preview your file. Might be a photo or a video. I actually have some photos here. Let me show you. If I click on it and press Alt plus Control plus space, this previews the file without having to open the whole app. For that, I can check for once you have used it once, this gets faster. I can also view preview some video files, but I don't have video files on my laptop right now, so trust me on that one. So my favorite one is the Powertoys run, which is enabled by Alt plus space. Brings up a search feature like Spotlight, and you can search for apps, perform some mathematical equations, and search on the web. Well, you can also do some other stuff which I don't often do. I only use it for searching on the web. Next one is Advanced Paste, which is like your clipboard manager but with AI. Well, I don't think I will use this ever. It will give you some options. You can search it and use it for yourself. Try if you like it, but I don't like it. I actually like my laptop more simple, so I don't think I am going to use Advanced Paste at all. Advanced Paste at all. Damn, I'm stuttering. Well, not going to use it at all, but some features are quite impressive, like this transcode to MP3 and transcode to MP4. Well, not gonna use it still. So if you don't want to use some modules, simply close them and they won't bother you at all. Always on top is my sometimes favorite. I might use it sometime when I'm watching a movie and doing some other stuff. I use that sometimes, very sometimes. I once used to watch an episode in my browser, and let me show you how this works. So open up your app and you can press these key combinations, which are Windows Control T, and now it is always on top. Now if I highlight or check other apps, this app won't go down at all, and you can't resize it. Actually, you can resize it, but you have to be more specific on however you want to resize it. Now if I'm watching a movie or watching a YouTube video, I can put it right there and perform other steps on the rest of my screen. Well, if you want to disconnect it, just simply press those key combinations on, and always on top will be disabled. Now you can see if now it is not showing on top, but I am not going to use it all the time. That is why I'm just going to disable this module. I remember that if you want to use a certain module, you can just simply go right there and go to more section. You can enable those modules that you really want to use, but if you're not using them, you can turn them off. Well, next one we have is the Awake module, which helps your laptop prevent from going to sleep, but I use the Windows own settings, so I always never want to go to sleep. My laptop is always set to never go to sleep. That is why I'm not going to use this module at all. But you can use it if you sometimes want to keep it awake or sometimes want to go to sleep. The color picker is more tricky. This is most useful for those who are, using in Photoshop, want to pick some certain colors from certain stuff. Not useful for me. So yep, the most newest and my favorite one is the command palette, which is more like a better version of Powertoys run. So simply turn on this module, and now you can use these key combinations, Windows Alt space, and this will bring up the command palette options. As you can see right from here, this is like the Spotlight search. Here I can search for apps, change some settings, even I can search on the web. Let me show you how. I am searching for how to watch. You can see the web search is opening up. Let me type in my own name. You can go on the second option, and this will opens up your default browser and searches Google whatever you have searched, which means you can search anywhere without having to open up your browser, which is good, and it is way better than Microsoft's own search options. But I cannot change this shortcut option, so I will have to use the separate command palette, and here you can see it has settings. Now I can change the shortcut to actually don't want to use the Windows key. I only want to use Alt and space, so I'm just gonna directly press Alt and space this and hit save. Now the shortcut key is changed. Now I can simply press two keys only, Alt and space. This will bring up my command palette without having to press 3 different keys at all, which is good and convenient for me. Now I am very happy. I actually wanted to use Powertoys certainly only for this option. Actually, once I lost a key on my keyboard, which I will show you right after checking some modules. So this is crop and lock. I don't know what this does, and I certainly will never use this module at all. Next up we have environmental variables, which is cool. Let's see what does it do. Let's enable the module and do some stuff. This gives you something, but I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna turn this off and moving on to our next module, which is the fancy zones. Fancy zones is more like an updated version of Microsoft's workspaces, which means I can create my own workspace and open this up, and this will bring up all the apps that I use when I'm working or doing certain stuff. Now there is a separate module for that as well. You can see these zones are already backed into Windows 11, so I'm not going to use it. I'm not that kind of a power user. File locksmith, dedicated something for something. Well, how does this work? Is you can right click on it and you can unlock some files. What? Let's see. Oh, okay, if some files are used by certain apps and you cannot change anything, you can use this module to unlock those files, and you can definitely mess with those files, which is good. Sometimes it is very useful. For example, I can unlock this file with file locksmith, and now I can do whatever I want without. Sometimes you want, for example, you're deleting a file and it says that this file is under use, so you can unlock that file with file locksmith and delete it altogether. Good module. So the next one is the host's file editor, and I don't know what this is, so I'm not going to use it at all. Not useful for me. Image resizer. This is a cool one. You can resize images. Let's see how does this work. You can change them to small, medium, large without losing quality, but sometimes you might lose some quality, so you can change the quality slider to maximum and might not lose some quality, but now you can use some editors instead of this image resizer. But this can be helpful if you are using those profile pictures, photos as profile pictures as well. So keyboard manager, another favorite utility. Once I lost an escape key and I could not use that. I did not have an escape key. I don't know why it just malfunctioned. So what did I do? I just remapped my key to the right alt. Let me show you how that happened. You can replace a certain key to perform a certain option. For example, if your escape key is not working, you can change that to right alt, which right alt is the key that nobody uses. Trust me, no one does. So you can change it to that. You can manually select the key by pressing, for example, I want right alt to perform certain option. Press some certain key, for example, let's see, I want it to be used as caps lock. I need to select caps lock right from here. If I wanted to replace a key, for example the escape key, I'm going to search escape key right from here and select it. And whenever let's change it to Windows key. What do you say, huh? So I will show you how this works. Okay, yeah, here we have Windows key, there we have it. Okay, now I've set it up. If I click on OK, this will apply this key, continue anyway. And now whenever I press the right alt, it performs the Windows key function and does not do the right alt stuff. Good, right? If your Windows key is broken, you can change that to right alt and use it as it is, but I'm not going to use it because my keyboard is just fine. Moving on to our Other utilities, which are some mouse utilities, not going to use some mouse utilities at all. Only find my mouse is enough for me. So our next favorite utility is the power rename utility. This helps us to rename a lot of files at once and change them to however we like. So let me show you how this works. First of all, let me find some files which I think I have right there. Right click on them and rename with power rename. This gives you an interface. You can type in some words. Let's say I want to remove something or replace some name right there. Let me just rename these whole files. Let's see, if I'm searching the 2024, I can change this to anything else or simply uncheck the replace with, and this will remove this name from the file. Useful if you have lots of files and have different names for them, and you can change them to however you like this. I've changed the date from 26 to 27, but you can apply and close and use this utility however you like. There are some filters, but I don't think I'm going to show them right now because this video is getting too long. Okay, so next useful utility is the registry preview, which means if you're using a home edition of Windows and don't have a registry editor, you can use this utility and have your own registry editor right there. You can open right registry editor from here if you have one, but if you don't have one, you can use this utility and have your own registry editor in your Windows home editions. So our next Powertoys module is the shortcut guide, which is your guide to all the shortcuts on the screen. So just memorize this key combination, which is Windows Shift and I don't know what do we call it. Simply press that and this will brings up all the shortcuts that you can use on this screen. For example, I want to open up, let's say I want to open up File Explorer and it has Windows plus 2. So I'm just gonna open up Windows plus 2. This will open up my File Explorer easily without having, these are shortcuts for that. Let's say I want to open up settings, which is Windows plus I, and it brings me settings, so I don't have to navigate, which is good. And let's say I want to open up my Brave browser, so I'm gonna press Windows plus 6, brings up my Brave browser. Very good. Let's see what others do we have. I don't think we need any more shortcuts. Let's keep this video as short as possible, so not going to use it for now, might use it later. So let's turn this module off and move on to our next one. So the next one is the text extractor, which is the definitely most useful utility you can find. You can extract text from anywhere on the page. Let's say I want to copy something. I'm just gonna open up text extractor and select something. Let's say I want to select this text, just gonna select it, and now if I go to my clipboard, you can see it was copied, and I can paste it however you want, wherever I want. Useful for copying some addresses, for no numbers, or any text that you really want to use. You can even copy some messages as well. Yep, very spicy for certain people, you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep that module on because that is one of my favorites. Yeah, I can even copy text from website. Let's say I want to copy a text from an image. I don't have to do this. Just open up the text extractor, select the whole paragraph, and we have it in our clipboard, and I can paste it wherever I want. Very useful stuff, so I'm just gonna keep it on. Okay, so next is the shortcut guide is done. Next is the workspace, which I was telling you about. Simply you can change some add some apps to your workspace, so whenever you open up your workspace, it will open up all the apps that you are running or you wanted to use. So let me show you how this works. First of all, I am going to change the shortcut key because 3 shortcuts is very annoying. I'm going to change it to so let's say Windows plus Control, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep it as it is because that is not what I'm going to use. Okay, let's open up workspace editor right there. Let's create a workspace. Here you can see it automatically detects what you are running and gives you something. You can see I have 3 apps right there which are full screen, and one app which is OBS Studio, which I'm using to record this video, as minimized. So you can use that as well. And whenever you, let me just change some settings so it will work like this. Okay, this is fine. Let's open it up, save workspace, and whenever you open up, simply launch this and it will open up all the apps that you were using. If let's open, launch, say yes to the prompt, and all your required apps are opening right from here. No need to open up them up separately. You can create different workspaces for different use cases. For example, if you want to game, you can create a workspace for gaming. So open up your certain games, recording tools, Discord, or even some other software that you use. So I'm just gonna close all my background apps because they are just slowing down my laptop. Okay, workspace, is it useful? Yes, useful for many cases and many people, but not for me. So I'm just gonna turn off this module, or maybe use it later if I want to. Let's turn this off and move on to our last module, which is the zoom it. If you want to use zoom to some stuff, but this is for people who cannot see, not useful for me. So anyways, these are all the modules that you have in your Powertoys, and you can see there is a list of all the modules, but some modules were not available. For example, this file explorer add-ons. These are some certain tweaks that you can do to your apps, but these are not some modules. So these are my top 5 favorite modules that I use on my own personal laptop by Microsoft Powertoys. Anyway, let's move on to resources. Let me show you how much resources do these take. First, there is another module. This is the command not found module. This is a new one. Maybe not a new one, but I did not see that before. If you use command prompt, this might be useful for you, but not for me. So let me show you how the resources work. Okay, so now I have opened up the task manager. So if you go to the processes, and you can see right there the Powertoys is running in the background. It is only using 200 megabytes of my RAM and 0.0 to 0.1% of my CPU. Well, that is not much considering you're getting a lot for those tiny bit of resources. And if you are concerned, you can enable and disable modules right from here. And if you don't want to use it, you can right click it and close Microsoft Powertoys altogether. Anyway, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.